Random House Audio presents Who's Got Your Back? The breakthrough program to build deep, trusting relationships that create success and won't let you fail. By Keith Ferrazzi. This is L.J. Ganser. Introduction. A person is a person through other persons. Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Back in my Singapore hotel room after a day of meetings and a dinner with my team, jet lag was kicking in. We were a globe-trotting group of management consultants from Deloitte & Touche. The night before, I had slept on the plane from London, but even those amazing new horizontal seats in first class were no substitute for a real bed, and I practically dissolved into my mattress. I was just nodding off when I heard a rustle under my door. Ugh, a fax. Leave it till the morning, I thought. But as the company's chief marketing officer and newest member of the firm's executive committee, I wasn't one to just leave anything. So I dragged myself out of bed, shuffled to the door, and tore open the envelope. The fax was not from anybody at Deloitte. It was a job offer. From the other side of the world, I was being offered the position of CMO at Starwood Hotels, a relatively new company with its own audacious global ambitions. It was in so many ways a dream position for me. Starwood's goal was to reinvent the stale hotel industry and create entirely new brands that would be recognized around the world with a central global marketing division. For my part, I would be expected to transform and lead the slumbering, pun intended, hotel marketing world as part of an energetic new team at Starwood. I should have been thrilled. It was a substantial leap forward for me into the world of consumer marketing with more upside and responsibility, but instead, I was filled with angst. How could I leave the Deloitte guys just when our work was beginning to pay off? I was the first CMO of the partnership and the first global marketer to have worked out successfully, mostly because I came from the operations side of the business and really knew the guts of what we did from the ground up, but also because I was new enough not to think the same old way. And I had a team who really wanted me to be a success. Deloitte was taking a fragmented set of country-specific consulting partnerships and consolidating them under one brand, much the way Starwood wanted to consolidate its hotels. It was a complex process that was yielding a big payoff. I knew it would be hard to replace me quickly. Every able partner was stretched thin, which gave me more than a little guilt. But there was a deeper voice causing that angst that I wasn't listening to, that I wasn't conscious of until years later. As much as I believed the Deloitte team needed me, the truth was, I needed them. Had I known then what I know now, I would have recognized that sinking feeling I was experiencing as the fast erosion of my support network, like sand under my feet. Network. That was something I thought I understood pretty well. After all, the Starwood fax didn't just blow under my door accidentally. It came as a result of my lifelong commitment to building a network of real relationships. I got the top marketing job at Deloitte by nurturing deep relationships with company executives, including CEO Pat Locanto, while I was still a student at Harvard Business School. The importance of reaching out to and connecting with others was a skill I had learned as a working-class kid in western Pennsylvania, where I caddied for the wealthy folks on the other side of town. I discovered that not only did they belong to the same country clubs and social circles, but they all did business with one another. As I got to know many of them, I realized that anybody could join that club, as long as you cared about other people's success rather than just your own. It was a skill that business schools and too many people overlooked. In many people's minds, I became Mr. Relationship, hooking up one group of people with another. Given all of my connections, what was the big deal about leaving Deloitte for greener pastures? I was young, barely 30, with my whole professional life ahead of me. Why wasn't I ecstatic? Of course, like many people faced with the job change, I knew I would miss my friends at Deloitte. But my emotions ran deeper than that. I was the new guy on a team of seasoned leaders charged with globalizing the company, a tight-knit group led by Pat and his right-hand man Bob Kirk, along with other senior folks at the firm like Greg Seal, who had first hired me as a brash young summer intern and kept me several times from getting my butt fired for my audacity. They all welcomed me as a protege. This wasn't just a team that worked well together. It was a group that cared about and encouraged each other. They helped me grow during a formative time of my professional life, and I cared about them as well, and still do. We all trusted each other. Our core values were almost perfectly aligned, even if our skills differed. There was nothing we couldn't do or say out loud. We raised our voices, traded opinions, shared ideas over long, slow dinners, and took lots of chances and forgave each other often for our mistakes. I can't remember a time when I felt unsafe. We were partners, schlepping around the world, only it didn't feel like schlepping. Instead, we were totally infused with excitement, optimism, energy, creativity, and hope. I would bound out of bed sometimes in the middle of the night to go into the office while it was still dark because it was such a thrill. These were more than just my colleagues. They were also my friends. It wasn't just that more heads were better than one. With no concern about stepping on toes or hurting someone's feelings, we were able to let new ideas ricochet around the room like popcorn. Our commitment to candor was extraordinary. We debated passionately and called each other out on our mistakes. We motivated and inspired each other rather than embarrassing or shaming one another. And we held each other accountable to make sure we stayed focused on our goals. We learned and shared an enormous amount in a safe environment that allowed us to take risks and really grow. There was nothing we couldn't talk about in our group. So, of course, I turned to the guys for advice around what they thought I should do. Yep, I was willing to ask the CEO of our company if I should leave and take another job. We had that kind of team. When we all gathered together in the lounge of our hotel the next night, one of those British colonial palaces with overstuffed leather couches that looked like they were straight off the cover of a Ralph Lauren catalog, I told them about the facts the previous evening. Despite our camaraderie and the warmth of the surroundings, it was hard to get the words out. I try to remember that moment to this day whenever an employee of my own consulting firm, Ferrazzi Greenlight, tells me he or she needs to move on to new opportunities. I try to think of it as a graduation, not a loss. Like the time my able colleague Gavin McKay left to pursue his dream of opening a line of his own innovative fitness studios. He was the first graduate of Ferrazzi Greenlight. What I needed from the Deloitte team was to tell me it was okay to graduate. I certainly knew Pat would be disappointed, but he knew me well. "Starwood is a place where a great young marketer could really make a name for himself, Keith," he said, and the others agreed. A couple of days later, as our plane landed in New York, I felt someone's hand on my shoulder, waking me up. I assumed it was the flight attendant, telling me to put my seat back up. But when I opened my eyes, I saw Pat resting on the edge of my seat. "Keith," he said, "one thing I want you to remember. Don't ever look back. This is the right decision no matter what lies ahead. Just keep looking forward." At that moment, Pat might as well have been my dad, who had always told me, "Never look back, son. The worst thing is to look back and ask, what if?" I never again had the blessing of a boss like Pat, but I know such bosses are out there. When I meet great leaders like Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan Chase, Devin Wenning of Reuters, Bob Iger of Disney, Todd Lockman of Mars, Mark Jordahl of U.S. Bancorp's Wealth Management Group, or John Pepper, formerly of Procter & Gamble, I think how lucky their teams are to be working under someone who really understands what great leadership is all about. But, as Pat said, keep looking forward. So, thanks in large part to the advice of my support group and teammates at Deloitte, I left them behind. As I write this, I realize I didn't do much to create that Camelot moment in my life. It happened around me. Sure, I did the right things to be open to it, but I never thought it was something that could be replicated.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?